every pharma company today says they're doing AI. But from where you sit across the ecosystem in pharma, in healthcare in general, where do you actually see AI creating real value inside a pharma organization or in general pharma organizations today? So where do you see it creating real value? Not just dashboards, but where do you see it creating value for actual decision making?
Not just dashboards, because I think that's the most hyped place.
Yeah.
Where everybody is talking about an AI generated dashboard and there is nothing, there is no AI behind it. I think in digital health, the areas where and I say digital health because to me it includes broader than pharma, and it actually incorporates the end users who are our patients and the care team. And in digital health, there are three areas where AI has significant impact so far. One is, of course, your drug discovery. And we have enough examples today to show how AI can help you in targeted, focused molecule identification. The one example that comes to my mind is in silico medicine. I think they were able to bring a molecule to phase 2 in around about 4 years, which is half the time that is required usually by the traditional route. So that's a significant impact, both from cost, timeline, and ultimately treatment outcome perspective.
Yeah.
The other element where I feel, again, this is the clinical trial space where AI has been impactful is the patient recruitment and the AI-assisted site identification for clinical trials. Also expanding the label by helping fulfill the critical sample size and extension of label. For instance, the Pfizer's Iberance is a great example of breast cancer drug, where with the help of real-world data, Pfizer was able to extend its label of the breast cancer medicine for male patients, because the incidence of breast cancer in male patients is 1%. And by virtue of that incidence rate, it was impossible for them to have a sample sizing clinical trial to show the efficacy. But this is where they partnered with Flatiron and were able to actually demonstrate the safety and efficacy and extend the label of the drug. So I think these are the places where AI has been significantly instrumental. The places where the other category is the admin element. So within pharma today, a lot of admin related tasks, the internal focus tasks can be taken care of by AI. And when you do that, you actually identify and you release some capacity for higher order thinking. You release some capacity for more human trust-based decisions and the more supervision of what the models are doing. So I feel like those are the areas where AI today has been doing a great job. The areas where AI still has a bit of a leg up to get to is personalization. So we talk about patient personalization. It's not there yet. This is mostly a GPT wrapper on a rule-based engine, a very poor patient segmentation. And it's unfortunate because every time we are doing a conversation, whether I'm at a vendor side or I'm at the non-vendor side and buying side,
yeah,
I know that this is a lie that is very carefully gift wrapped, and everybody is accepting it because there is no other way to it right now. And one of the reasons there is no other way for it is because our regulatory and the compliance frameworks have not caught up to that. Yes. So we are actually not able to deliver that kind of the kind of personalization that AI has the capability. And I don't want to say it's only because regulatory and compliance, but it's also because at some there is an inherent challenge with AI that it's confidence, but it's not calibrated. So it comes across as authoritative, as fluent, but it's also wrong. And healthcare has no room for errors.
Where does it actually survive in the ecosystem today, where it meets actual healthcare environment or pharma environment? And where does this product actually quietly collapses? I mean, so do you think it collapses from because of a lack of context or technology, or does it collapse on the compliance side? Or probably it just collapses on the bureaucracy side or the organizational culture side? Where does an AI product actually collapses today?
If your AI product is supporting clinical decision making, so it's actually a tool for your care team.
Yeah.
There, the possible reason of its collapse is not integration to workflows, where it's actually not helping in their current workflow, but it is an additional task, and the care teams are already very burdened and they're already very jaded by the technology. That's core reason a clinical decision support tool would fail. The second reason this category tools fail is the trust. And it's also very interesting to know that accuracy of a model is not equal to a clinical trust. So if your model is 98% accurate, that will not really translate to a 90% clinical trust. And I hear this arguments a lot of time that my doctor made a mistake, my doctor also misdiagnosed. Sure, but that human trust cannot compete with an algorithmic trust. And I don't think, or at least I'm yet to know, and if you know, and if any of your audience knows, to tell me, how can you actually compare a 98% accurate AI model to a clinical accuracy? How do you compute clinical accuracy? Is there a way to compute clinical accuracy? So I think those are the two elements where the clinical decision support tools fail. The tools which are facing the patients fail more often than not by not actually understanding that what patients need is a behavioral support. So if you're giving information, that's great, but you also have to understand that the patients need to be seen, they want to be heard. What is that behavioral element of the patient's journey in disease management that needs support? So I think that's the core element where the patient support programs fail.
What parts of pharma operation, and not just yours, like the entire ecosystem, what parts of a pharma operation do you see changing the most in the next 5 years? Like, do you see the biggest impact being created on clinical trials or regulatory, drug discovery, commercial?
The pre-commercialization phase of an asset and the admin tasks within the internal operations of the pharma. And third, I would say, is the insights piece, the competitive and the market insights. All three of these pieces are much more advanced for AI technology innovation and adoption compared to the direct end user space.